Alright boys, we're back with some more Risk of Rain 2 lore. Thanks you guys for getting me to 100 subs. Said I would give you guys a big lore video once I got there, but you guys were so subbing faster than I can actually make things, so I still have to work at the hospital. So let's get right into it. But we're going to be talking about the Sister of Providence today. And to start that, you have to read the lore log for a moment fracture. So let's get right into that. My brother, it is done. Come, see. Look to the moon. The first beacon shines brightly on the other side. There was no gap in its sequence. It has traveled instantaneously. We can cross the dark sea without succumbing to its sickness if we do not simply travel through it at all. Is it not a brilliant light of hope? Only your hands could have realized my design, brother. I feel truly now that there is no obstacle nor force we cannot overcome together. With my designs and your constructions. While it pains me to see your heart still torn for the doom, we are not among them. There is an entire cosmos for us. We can escape this planet, our prison. If your heart truly yearns to save, then surely more of our kind awaits among the other worlds trapped by the dark sea. And to them we can offer the gates. When next she visits our world, I must ask her to take a gate with her, perhaps dozens. You should be celebrating with me, brother. And yet, I see your somber gaze will not lift. Please, take the gate. Step foot on another world. Reap the rewards of your toil. True to the universe, you are free. I cannot bear to see you in such a pitiable mood on such a joyous occasion. If you insist, brother, I will go first. Forget about those creatures. And do not dawdle. I want to see joy on your face. The information given to you in that lore log for a moment fractured actually answers a lot of questions, but to decipher that information, you have to read the lore log from A Brittle Crown. Starting from there, the first segment in the Brittle Crown expands on this a lot. It reads, a wretched carnival. They were doomed for good reason. Doomed people of Ophelia lost, and fanatic worship of parasitic influences. Lumerians, destined to a dead planet, picked clean. Chitin beasts, automatons of death. Why do you bring them home? They were not meant to survive. From this lore log in the excerpt, this basically shows, or rather tells you, that mostly every species on the planet in Risk of Rain is not originally from there. They were migrated, and basically they were saved by Providence, who is basically the final boss in Risk of Rain 1. His title is Bulwark of the Weak, and a bulwark is a strong wall or something you would make to protect things. So he's protecting these weak species from wherever they came from, you know, their dead planet, like the beetle queen, the worker, the guard beetle, the Lumerians, for whatever reason. We don't know particularly why he saved them, but he brought them to this planet, and his sister asks him, why does he do this? And she doesn't understand it, and it doesn't really make sense to her, but for some reason Providence takes care of them and saves these other species for whatever reason. But moving on to the next excerpt, it expands more about their relationship and what's happening in the situation. I have watched you for ages from my dead rock. In every century, you disgust me with vanity. You invite vermin into your home. Wretches, rats, monsters, creatures without restraint. Each and every one planet killers, and yet you entertain them as guests like children, requiring saving and protection. Well, this is the crazy part about that lore log, is that remember when a moment fracture at the end of the lore log, his sister says, if you insist, brother, I will go first. I want to see joy in your face, but do not dawdle. Forget about those creatures. So when she does that, he convinces her to go through the gate first. And in the beginning of the lore log, she says, look to the moon. There is no gap in its sequence. So the portal that they made connected to the moon on the planet they were on. But from the lore log, when Providence convinces her to go through the gate, he destroys the gate and traps his sister on the moon. That's why in the beginning of the lore log for A Brittle Crown, she says, I have watched you from my dead rock for millennia. The moon is referred to in a lot of senses as a dead rock because there's no life on it. So Providence basically traps his sister on the moon. He convinces her to go through the gate first after they created it, and traps his sister on the moon because more than likely because he doesn't believe that she wants to save the other creatures, because she believes that they are doomed. And there are probably species that destroy planets, you know, and don't care for their planets, so she doesn't care for them like he does, and he traps her because she doesn't agree with his beliefs, and he leaves her up there for thousands of years. So I would imagine at that point, that's why in that little look, it sounds so resentful and hated. She's up there on the moon by herself for thousands of years just watching him, and she can't come back because the gate that they made, that was the first gate that they made, and there was no way for her to get off the moon, so she was specifically trapped there and just going to watch him from there, unable to die or move on, which is insane to me. I would definitely go crazy myself. The next part of the Brittle Crown lore log, she says she should have died for me. Her gift was wasted on you. In the Moment Fracture lore log, the sister of Providence, his sister says basically that when next she returns, we can give her a gate, or give her dozens so that she can give them to other species or their kind, so that she can disseminate them throughout places so that they all can travel. We have no idea who this she is they refers to, but obviously it would be someone or something of great power due to the fact that she can commit and just travel interstellarly without being hindered by anything. And for whatever reason, while his sister was stuck on the moon after he trapped her there, she died and gave Providence a gift. The gift doesn't really show whether if the gift that she gave was something that came from her death or was something that she just gave to Providence to benefit from. But his sister feel like he doesn't deserve it because he uses these powers or whatever to protect these other species. Maybe that's why they all listen to him, to whatever power that was given to him from the she that they speak of. But from the previous parts, this is coming up towards the present. The past part of the lore logs have been in the past. This is stuff that already happened. He trapped her on the moon before he died, and she's still stuck him on the moon and in Risk of Rain too. From there, we go into the next part. She's confronting her brother. We don't know if she's sending a transmission or if she's up there just speaking and monologuing to herself, but she says, "And when will we open discussion, dear brother, of all your thin lies? Why do you forbid your guests to leave, to pilot? Why do you fashion great walls and gates? Why do you weave constructs of destruction? If your role is protection, there are entries in your collection, you slaver, gatekeeper, hoarder." And this also does beg to the question, if Providence has all of these teleporters and gates that they can use to travel to other planets that are not dying or not destroyed by their means, why does he keep them there? There's no reasoning for this. He doesn't elaborate, and he doesn't do anything but protect them to keep them out of harm's way, but for what reason? We don't know. This also creates a sense of frustration for her because she won't and cannot understand why he does these things. But the last excerpt from A Brittle Crown basically shows her mindset towards her brother at this point. Your death is fated. When you die, and you will die, I will be ready. I have been patient for millennia. That planet is mine. And I would imagine this is the only way her mental will progress after she's been trapped up there by Providence for so long. And she see everything he does as pointless because she doesn't have the same beliefs as him. And she probably wants revenge at this point. It feels like everything that they worked on together, the gates, the things that he saved, the gift that was given to him by the she they mentioned, belongs to her. And that she feels wronged and betrayed by that. And you can tell how she got there and how her mental state deteriorated there to get to that point, honestly. But the only thing from there, I think the only image we have of, I think, could be Providence's sister that escaped from the moon after is from the Risk of Rain console trailer they show, where the silhouette shows up, which the silhouette we haven't seen at all in any of the updates and any of the current bosses, which is this silhouette. So I was thinking that this is that silhouette that they show at the end of the console trailer could possibly be Providence's sister, or maybe, you know, the she, but she's basically confirmed to be the one that gave Providence the gift is confirmed to be dead. So I'm thinking the only one that could probably be the final boss in Risk of Rain 2 is Providence's sister, who they probably show right here. And I think that's the only, you know, that's the only like logical explanation of who could be the final boss in Risk of Rain 2. Or it's something we haven't even heard about. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts about Providence, his sister, their relationship, and how crazy it is. And like, sub, share, and I'll see you guys next week.